Controlling your temperature in the Kamado Joe grill is all about controlling the airflow. You can cook anything you want on this grill that you would normally cook in your oven if you like, and you can control the temperature of this grill to put it at whatever temperature you want it to be. And it all starts out with airflow. We have airflow coming into the grill through this lower vent. This lower vent has a sliding door that allows you to control the amount of air that's coming in. The air comes in here, stokes the fire that's in the firebox, and the heat rises through the grill and exits through the top vent. And we use a combination of the top vent and the bottom vent to control the amount of air that's flowing through this grill. The more air that's flowing through the grill, the hotter the grill's going to get. The air movement will stoke the fire, create a hotter fire, and create a higher level of heat for cooking. If you want to cook at a lower temperature, we limit the airflow in the grill by controlling the air that comes in the bottom and the air that escapes from the top. We can control this grill at either point. You don't have to control from one specifically or the other, but you do have a very fine level of control here, and I'm going to show you how I use these vents to cook at specific temperatures. With most of your cooking on your Kamado Joe, you're going to find yourself cooking at 3 different temperature ranges. You're going to be cooking low and slow for barbecue meats such as Boston butts for pulled pork, ribs, brisket, or any of those traditional barbecue meats. You're going to find yourself cooking between 225 and 275 degrees most of the time. And I like to simplify the vent setup process for these 3 cooks by using my lower vent in 3 different positions. This is fully open, but if I'm going to cook low and slow, where I want to keep my temperature between 225 and 275, I want to limit the airflow into my grill. And I'm going to do that by positioning this bottom vent approximately 1 inch open. And for most cooks, that's all you need to do on the bottom vent. We will control the rest from the top vent, and we'll have a look at that. So when we're going to cook low and slow, like I said, we're going to limit the airflow through the grill. So we don't want to have the top vent fully open. When I'm cooking low and slow, I typically have the slider fully closed, and as I'm bringing my grill up to temperature, I leave the daisy wheel in the fully open position where these holes here are fully exposed until my grill starts to get up to the temperature that I want to stop at. Let's say 250 for instance. As the grill temperature keeps climbing, when I get up to about 225, I'll make fine adjustments in this daisy wheel to slow down the airflow and let the grill settle in at a temperature. And once this grill settles in at a temperature, you won't have to tweak these vents hardly at all unless you're in a windy condition. If you're experiencing wind, you may have to tweak this top vent, but like I said, I simplify the process in the bottom vent. I leave it at that 1 inch setting for low and slow cooking, and I do all of my fine tuning adjustments for temperature right here on the top. The second temperature range you're going to find yourself cooking in is the 325 to 450 degree range for cooking things like chicken, chicken wings, whole chickens, turkeys, baking bread, or any of those things that you would cook in those temperature ranges. You're going to want to make a different setting down here. This is my 1 inch setting for my low and slow that I use for 225 to 275. So if I want to increase the airflow to bring the temperature up to somewhere between 325 and 450, I'm going to position this vent approximately halfway open. And that's going to give me enough airflow into the grill to get that temperature, and I will make additional adjustments at the top to compensate for that. So let's have a look at the top again. On my top vent for cooking in the temperature range between 325 and 450, our daisy wheel may not provide enough airflow for that. It might, depending on the conditions and how much charcoal you have burning, but If the daisy wheel is fully open and the bottom vent is halfway open and you're not getting to the temperature you want, you just simply slide this vent open a little bit. And as you slide this vent open a little bit, it gives you air openings over here. It will increase your airflow. It'll increase the chimney effect, which will allow more air to flow through the grill, which will stoke your fire hotter. And this will bring the temperature up. And like I said, for this temperature range, I'll leave the bottom vent at the 50% mark and do all of my temperature control from right here. I just tweak it as needed to increase or decrease the temperature. The third situation you're going to find yourself in when you're cooking on a grill is high heat temperatures, which I consider 500 degrees and higher. In order to get temperatures like that quickly on these grills, I always leave my bottom vent fully open. I want maximum airflow availability into the bottom of the grill. For the extremely high heat cooks, where I want to grill a steak or cook a pizza at 600 degrees or whatever, I'm probably going to start right here with my top vent fully open. That's going to maximize airflow through the grill since my bottom vent is fully open. And when you get up to grilling temperatures, which under most circumstances 600 degrees, 550 to 600 degrees is a good point for that. When you get to that point, you just close your vent back a little bit and watch your temperature. As you need to, you can open the vent more or close it less. When your cooking is finished, all you have to do with this grill is close the slider, close the daisy wheel. You just slide the bottom vent closed, and that will snuff out the airflow, and it will allow your charcoal to put itself out.